In my Google Drive account, where I'm teaching 11th, 12th grade English, and within that folder I will find a folder called Fiction. That is the unit we will be working on. The first presentation, we want to learn about what is fiction, what makes it different than nonfiction, what types of genres are there to read within fiction. Fiction is a literary work whose content is produced by the imagination and not necessarily based on fact. It's comprised mostly of novels and short stories, and they're very entertaining. As a warm-up, I would like to have everyone close their eyes. We're going to write a scene or a daydream about what you are envisioning when you close your eyes. I want you to focus on the daydream and imagine it just as vivid as possible, as if you were out on a beautiful sunny day and you could feel the sunshine on your skin. Whatever it is that you think that might be pleasant. What exactly is there? What happens? Pay attention to all of your senses and not just your sight. What do you hear? What do you smell? What does it feel like? Focus on improving the dream. Just make it just more incredible than you could imagine. But because we're not going to worry about writing it quite yet. I want you to really just envision this dream first. Take a few moments to do that, and then we will move on to the writing part. Now, as you open your eyes, I want you to start to write, describing the daydream just as clearly as you possibly can. It's not necessarily important to focus on just the words and proper spelling, but just to write down what you saw. Concentrate on just being able to express that daydream so somebody else reading your writing could also envision the same thing. We can always go back and improve it later. Next, we're going to discuss some different genres of mystery. Mystery is usually always about a crime or a murder, and just the process of getting evidence and finding out who committed it. Here is a selection of different mystery novels that are available. Some may seem familiar to you, and some are just popular writers that happen to write within that mystery genre. The next one is science fiction. Science fiction we will be focusing on when we will be reading our upcoming book, The Last Book of the Universe. Science fiction is more about those possible alternatives to reality, again, not necessarily based on facts. Here is a selection of those science fiction books that would be popular, most popular being probably The Hunger Games or The Hobbit. Another genre is fantasy. Fantasy focuses on the imaginary. Usually involves magic or parts of science or technology. Twilight, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, these are all parts of the fantasy genre. Westerns are also popular for some and always include a cowboy or two and the difficulties that they've experienced on their frontier life and the conflicts that they may have experienced between the natives and the settlers. Here are some examples of Westerns and different authors that write those books. Thrillers is another popular one. It is stemmed more from the emotion that is created within the reader rather than it being necessarily scary. Scary is more under the horror genre, and its ability to just be scary in the sense of the supernatural elements and the gore that's involved. Stephen King is a very popular horror story writer. And lastly, romance, and of course it always involves two people who fall in love and all the obstacles that keep them apart.